Yo, what's going on, guys? I will make this quick so you can just jump into these stories and get to whatever it is you were planning on doing as you were pulling up this video, whether it's going to sleep, doing some schoolwork, I don't know, cleaning, maybe. My goal is to post these here weekly. This is something I've been wanting to do for a very long time. So, with that in mind, please give me any kind of feedback. I am open to it, and I kind of just freeballed this one. And I'm hoping the videos grow as people give me some feedback. So it'll probably be majority Minecraft as the background. Today we're speedrunning, but probably have some like SMP content in there as well. But honestly, don't be surprised if the background of these videos is like a random variety game that I get myself sucked into at some point. But without further ado, let's jump into story number 1. Am I the asshole for forcing myself onto a girl at the gym? I, 23 male, am a pretty frequent gym goer. I don't go on any type of schedule, but I go maybe 3 to 4 days a week. Most times when I went, I would see this girl. She would always be looking at me, and I got to talking to her a week or two back. She's pretty nice, so why not? A few days back, she asked for my number romantically. I said no, even though I found her attractive. I don't want to date people from the gym, and the gym is kind of a weird place to meet partners. It's not Tinder, and if you want to do that type of thing, there's lots of apps available. Since I told her no, she's been kind of ignoring me, even if I try to make conversation when we're doing workouts in close proximity of one another. She told me she doesn't want to talk to me anymore. I get it, but I don't think that means we can't still be cordial, so I still try to be when she's around. I've told some friends, and they tell me I'm forcing myself upon her. The girl from the gym said something like that too. Am I the asshole? I wouldn't say directly forcing myself upon her. Maybe that's not the word I would use. I know it's a quote in the original post from OP, but you definitely don't need to keep trying to talk to her. If anything, it's mixed signals, and she asked you out, you said no. I would think the average person would give her that same kind of respect in her wishes of not wanting to talk to you. One of the comments said she asked you out and you said no. That's fine. Nothing wrong with that. We should also accept she doesn't want to talk to you anymore. She told you that, so why are you still trying? Just leave her alone. Couldn't have said it better myself, honestly. The comment about the dating app, I think, is the thing that confuses me the most about this post. It's not Tinder, and if you want that type of thing, there's lots of apps available. I think the average person would tell you building a real world connection is much better than defaulting to an app to meet a human being. So I just thought that comment was interesting in itself. I remember when I was on apps, I was just hoping that I did not meet somebody that I enjoyed at all, because I would have been embarrassed to say that I met anybody. I wasn't on Tinder, I was on Hinge, but still, that's just insane to me. Okay, let's move on to the next story. Am I the asshole for getting pissed at my parents? Won't let me live with boyfriend after I graduate high school and go to college. I think something that's going to be really difficult for me is reading these without the correct grammar, because I'm trying to read it in a way that's at least somewhat entertaining. Since you're probably not actually watching what's on the screen right now. So bear with me. I'm gonna try my best, and maybe I'll get more articulate as the days go on. But I almost had a stroke reading that title. Holy cow. So for context, I'm an 18-year-old gay man who's dating this 22-year-old man I met on Tinder. Pause. What? A 4-year age gap is not that big. Me and my partner are 2.5 years apart. I don't think that's a very large gap, but 18 to 22 is a massive gap. That is a 22-year-old dating somebody who just got out of high school, very likely. When I was 22 and I was looking back at 18-year-olds, I thought they looked young, and that was a 4-year difference. So this is off to a great start already. We met 4 months ago in December. Okay, I'm sorry, I have to stop again. 4 months. I'm already thinking that this person is the asshole. When I was touring my future college, I accepted admissions to. So while you were still in high school, you met this person. It's about 1 hour away from where I live. I was on Tinder when I was there, and I matched with this graduate student, and we ended up meeting while I was visiting, and we pretty much hit it off like that. We overlap slightly because he's a college senior who needs to do one extra semester, even though he was supposed to graduate in May 2026. He's staying till December 2026, and I enter college in fall 2026. He also plans to work in the area, won't move far, so my freshman year wouldn't be an issue. Nice, actually, because we have to commute an hour to see each other, because I'm still in my hometown. I lied to my parents and said I met them when finding out about an LGBTQ organization. We got each other's numbers. I don't want them to judge me for being on dating apps. I was doing research, and my school doesn't necessarily require freshman students to live on campus, but it recommends they do. I wanted to live in an apartment with my boyfriend, but my parents are insistent it's weird for me to suddenly go on with a 22-year-old I met recently instead of living on campus housing with other freshmen. They insist they aren't comfortable with me deviating like that and suddenly living with much older upperclassmen. Dorms usually cost a bit, and they've stated it is not a money issue. I don't get it. Like, this is my time to shine. I met a guy, I really like him, and they've seen our chemistry. I've invited him to dinner, bro. They've met him. They also cited the concern of things if they don't go well between us, which I get. But if we are also paying to share the dorm, he can't, like, kick me out. In the worst case, I can move into the dorm next semester, so. I also got a scholarship for 50% tuition off, so I've been working hard and shit. Am I the asshole? This post, like, sounds like an 18-year-old wrote it. Honestly. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna read some comments and give my thoughts. You're the asshole. Your parents aren't being unreasonable. Living in with a 22-year-old known for 4 months right as you start college is a big risk. If it goes sideways, you're stuck in a messy situation during a huge life transition. They're pushing dorms because it's safer and lets you build your own life out first. Yeah, I think that's a little bit nicer said than what I'm thinking of. Here's another one. You're the asshole. Finances aside, this is a terrible idea. Literally any other housing plan would be better. This is some 18-year-old logic. Listen to your parents. Live in the dorm, live with a friend, or on your own in an apartment. Do not start college by living into an apartment with a boyfriend you met off Tinder. Yeah, absolutely. I have a couple of thoughts. So, first of all, I would be really curious if this 18-year-old is making the decision on their college based off of meeting this person on Tinder. I have an inkling that the decision to go to this college already was made off of a rash decision. So, considering the parents don't know that you met him on a dating app, spoiler alert, you're definitely the asshole. And maybe not the asshole. I don't know. You're an 18-year-old. I think any 18-year-old would. This, like I said, this is 18-year-old logic. I don't necessarily think they're an asshole. Maybe just young and stupid is the best way to describe this. This also just sounds like a very privileged post, honestly. Dorms literally cost bruh, and they've stated it's not a money issue. I don't get it. That makes me feel like they might pay. I don't know. I don't want to make an ass of myself and make too many assumptions, but the breakdown of this like last paragraph is absolutely ridiculous. I met a guy. I really like him. They've seen our chemistry. I've invited him to dinner, bro. They met him. Even if, but first of all, things are not going to go well here. I think the biggest red flag is a 22-year-old dating an 18-year-old. It sounds like this person is trying to groom you, take you away, give you no chance to build a life for yourself so that you move in with them immediately. Yeah, absolutely not. I was in a very similar situation when I was 18, and my family let me move in with my partner. I'm older now, and I cannot help but think what would have happened if my parents just said no. Honestly, if I just got a no instead of a yes in that moment, I think my life would be much different. Obviously, I try not to live with any regrets, but you can't help but wonder. Oh my goodness. Yeah, you're too young to know this is a dumb idea. And when your 4-month romance goes south, then what? Your parents are trying to protect you. Live in the dorm, and if this romance is so special, living separately certainly won't hurt. Yeah. Absolutely. I think a lot of people take parents like that for granted, and as somebody with a frontal lobe now, you'll learn when you're older. God. Oh man, I hate I said that. Alright. Let's move on to the next story. Hey, this is Editing Nikki here. I think as I'm editing this, I realized that I was so hesitant on speaking in this spot because I just like have no... I'm doing it again. I have no hope that this relationship will go well, so I appreciate the commenter here who's giving this OP some benefit of the doubt, but anybody who's a 22-year-old getting in a relationship with somebody who is still in high school, that's not going to end well. So I think that's why I had some hesitation here. I am just editing and I have more thoughts. I hate this story. I, 32 male, and currently single, was at my sister's wedding this weekend, and things have gotten tense since. For context, my sister, 25 female, was previously married for about a year when she was 24. It ended pretty badly. There was a lot of arguing from my perspective. She rushed into it and ignored everyone's advice. Our family kind of just does not talk about it, which I've always thought was weird because it happened, and it clearly says something about decision making. Holy sentences. Alright. Anyway, at her current wedding, I was asked to give a speech. No one gave me any specific guidelines. Just say something nice. I did start nice. I talked about growing up together, how she used to make terrible instant coffee and stuff like that. But then I pivoted into what I thought was going to be a meaningful point about growth. Oh gosh, I don't like where this is going. When I first started reading that paragraph, I had a bad feeling. Okay. I said something along the lines of how we have all seen her make big commitments before and it did not work out, and how important it is to really think about things through this time. At the wedding. I even added that hopefully her new husband knows that she's getting what he is getting into and is ready for the long haul, unlike last time. Oh my god. People got really quiet and I figured it was just about being honest. I do not think weddings should just be about fake positivity. After the speech, my sister was visibly upset, and she told me I humiliated her on purpose. Her husband did not say much, but looked pretty uncomfortable. A couple of relatives told me it was completely inappropriate, and that a wedding is not a place to bring up past mistakes, especially something like a divorce. I told them I was trying to highlight her personal growth and the seriousness of marriage, but apparently it made it worse. My mom has not spoken to me, and my sister says I made the happiest day of her life about the worst one. In hindsight, maybe I could have worded it differently. Oh, hindsight. Hindsight, it's a beautiful thing. But I still feel like pretending the past did not exist is a dishonest. At the same time, I can see why she might not have wanted it brought up right then. Alright. We got a lot of assholes I've pulled up so far. I don't know, I just filtered the stories from like the last month that had an interesting title. I haven't read all of these. Okay. So, I think this last sentence here, I feel like pretending the past did not exist is dishonest. I don't think not mentioning your sister's divorce in your speech that you're giving at her wedding is pretending that the past did not exist. I do not think that is what you would have done if had you not brought up her divorce. Just because you focus on the present, what's gonna come, does not mean you are pretending the past did not exist by bringing it up. I'm trying to think of like an analogy for this. That's like if you're it's like standing outside in a sunny day, taking in the sun, but feeling guilty that it's raining somewhere else. I don't know. This logic just doesn't make sense. It's like he's trying to say he's like lying by omission, but that's not something that like anybody's expecting you to bring up. I don't know. Maybe the comments will be able to explain myself a little differently. Someone said, "You are the asshole. Are you fucking serious?" Insulting the bride in your speech at her fucking wedding. It's the most obvious asshole behavior I've ever seen, and if you were my sibling, our relationship would never be the same. Disgusting, disgraceful behavior. Yeah, I don't think any of my siblings would end up doing this, but I would absolutely be confused if this was their logic as well. In hindsight now, what was this, like a month later or something? Hindsight is where you're like, maybe I shouldn't have brought this up. Just maybe. Not even like a, not even taking ownership. Just a maybe. You are the asshole and you know where you are. You were not trying to highlight personal growth. What a bullshit excuse. You clearly have some deep issues with your sister and you did try and embarrass her on her wedding day. Yeah. Everybody is really upset with OP. You weren't being honest, you were being mean. I have this mantra that the truth is not mean, but I still don't think it's necessary to bring up the truth in this setting. I'm surprised that they even asked you to talk. Honestly, after reading this post, there's something wrong with you. Holy cow. Okay. Yeah. I can't wait till the day I read these comments. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna vote on if they're the asshole or not before I read the comments to see if I have hot takes or not. Sounds fun. Okay. Let's move on to the next one. Am I the asshole for accidentally leaving my 29 male cigarette... Oh, hold on. I get it now. Am I the asshole for accidentally leaving my 29 male cigarette lighter in my girlfriend's 24 female room and causing drama with her roommates? Oh, okay. I mean, reading it in the beginning, I don't know. I feel like your intentions would really determine if you're an asshole or not, but let's read it. My girlfriend rents a place with roommates. Before she moved in, they had specifically asked her whether she smoked, but she told them no. For context, I'm the one who smokes, not her. Sometimes when I visit, I smoke on her attached balcony, not inside the house. I usually leave my lighter there. The roommates didn't want smoke inside the house. This time, I accidentally left my lighter near her bag inside her room instead of on the balcony. Their maid found it while cleaning and mentioned it to the roommates. And then one of the roommates confronted my girlfriend about it. She asked him if she smoked in her room or if her friends did because she had friends over the previous day. My girlfriend explained that it was my lighter, not hers, and that I don't smoke inside the house, but she felt embarrassed and stressed from being confronted. She called me afterward really upset and scolded me, saying things like, if you can't keep it in the right place, then you better not smoke here. Very careful about not leaving it at your place so your family doesn't find out. Why can't you do the same here? I understand I made a careless mistake and created unnecessary trouble for her, but I also feel like getting scolded over accidentally leaving a lighter somewhere was a bit much, especially given the fact that I never smoked inside her room. Her point was that her roommate spoke to her a bit weirdly, saying things like, hey, you remember that room? The listing mentioned that no smoke inside the house, right? Both me and the other roommate have a problem with it. And it got a little awkward about being confronted, but it all seemed like a misunderstanding to me. So am I the asshole for leaving it there and causing this situation? Okay, I feel like the perspective of this person is something that you gotta take into consideration. From this person's perspective, I can see why maybe they feel like they're not the asshole. But we gotta consider whether or not conversations had happened, regardless or not of I don't know. Was this the first occurrence of you leaving a lighter? If so, I could understand your perspective here, to be honest with you. I don't think a lighter being inside a house necessarily is wrong. I don't know. Maybe there's health issues or something that I don't know about. But I'm thinking about candles. Like, there would be lighters in the house if anybody had a candle or like incense, you know? So I think the idea of the lighter being left near her bag inside her room instead of out the balcony is not that big of a deal. Also, they have a maid. Thought that was interesting. I don't know. there's a lot of moving pieces here. Assuming that this was not the first time that this happened, we're unaware of any kind of potential health issues. Like, if these people had some sort of accommodation where they can't even have any kind of lighter near them, like, I don't know, an allergy to ethanol, what's inside of a lighter? I have one literally right next to me. What's inside these things? I don't know, some kind of gas. Maybe they have a gas allergy. The lighter can't even be inside the house. But I feel like that's something you would have been aware of, and you wouldn't even be allowed to smoke on the balcony if that was the case, you know? I can understand the girlfriend's perspective in saying you're very careful about not leaving it at your place so your family doesn't find out. Why can't you do the same here? I understand that, but again, if this was the first occurrence, I'm gonna say not the asshole. But there's a lot of holes in the story, I guess, that would prevent me from giving any kind of definitives. So let's see what the comments say. You're the asshole is a bullshit story. Why would the maid tell the other roommates? Why does it matter she has a lighter in the house? I don't smoke. I have a bunch of lighters in my house. Very useful for lighting candles. Also, I find it hard to believe the roommates had no idea you smoked. You reek of smoke. As soon as you walk into the house, anyone with nostrils can smell you. You smoking on the balcony also brings smoke into the house. I'm confused because it says you're the asshole, but I have the same logic. Info. Yeah, somebody else said the same thing as me. Are the roommates actually okay with someone smoking on the balcony, or are you sneaking smoke without their consent and knowledge? I agree. This is their home too, and the house rule is no smoking anywhere, then this is not really about the lighter, per se, and you're the asshole. But if they're fine with it, then not the asshole. Bet. The Redditors agree with me. Lighters aren't used for just smoking, right? It's a lighter, not a lit cigarette. These people need to chill, not the asshole. Someone said, their maid found it while cleaning. Their maid? Question mark, question mark, question mark. Yeah. I'm gonna have to agree. Here's one that says you're the asshole. The roommates are being too strict, but I don't see that as excusing the fact that you are being dismissive about being careless that your girlfriend asked you not to. Something you'd agreed upon beforehand and not doing. You don't have any right to say that the roommates confronting your girlfriend wasn't a big deal and making a big deal of your girlfriend scolding you. As you admitted, you are careful in your own house and you don't have the lighter around. She is right in pointing that out. Just own that you messed up and that you are sorry and don't do it again, or don't smoke at your girlfriend's place anymore. Yeah, I see what this person is saying. I agree. Again, I still just think there's like some missing context. I don't think somebody needs to be scolded for like a small mistake. To be honest, that's again assuming that they're allowed to smoke on the balcony, and that it was literally just a lighter found in the house. I would love to check this house out and see if there's any candles or incense in there. I don't know. That's just me. Lighters are not just used for that. This is coming from somebody who smokes inside the house too. So I might be a little bit too biased to rule assholery or not on this one. Okay. This one is a little bit longer. It's probably gonna end up being my last one. So just before I go into the last story, it's obviously my first video. I've been wanting to do this for a really long time. Honestly, it was a little bit rough start to the year for me, but I don't know. Best day to do something like this is yesterday. So I'm just gonna keep posting, and if anybody's out there, let me know if I talk too fast, if I'm playing with my mouth too much. I feel like I'm swallowing a lot, making a bunch of weird noises, but I don't know, maybe the mic can't pick up on it. I could try to be more mindful of it. Let me know if I'm giving too much of my opinion. The stories are too short, story length. I'm open to any and all feedback. So let me know, or don't. But if you have opinions, don't feel bad about giving me feedback. This is my first one. I'm not expecting it to be perfect. And I do notice myself. I feel a little bit more comfortable towards the end of recording this, versus at the beginning. At least with like speaking. So, and don't worry, I'll become more literate as time goes on as well. You don't have to worry about me not being able to speak. If anything, I don't want to edit too much of that stuff out. That way, I can also just see how much my brain has improved. I don't know. I feel like it's smooth brain now. So let's jump in. Let's jump into the last one. I'm excited. This one comes from a top 1% poster, so I'm pretty interested. Am I the asshole for telling my dad-in-law, D-I-L? One sec. Daughter-in-law. Am I the asshole for telling my daughter-in-law to stop crying after she got called fat? Okay. Okay. On phone. My daughter-in-law is a very sensitive soul, to put it lightly. She will end up in tears at basically any pushback or any slight rude remark. It can be extremely frustrating because anything brought up will end up with her in tears and you looking like a huge asshole. One example, she has a habit of not taking her shoes off before going into people's homes. About a year ago, she was tracking mud into my home and I told her to take off her shoes. She started crying because my tone was too much. I didn't yell or anything. My daughter was there and agreed I wasn't mean when I said to take off her shoes. I already feel like you're not the asshole. Okay. It was a whole thing and my son gave me a whole lecture on how I can't say things like that. I told her to take off her shoes. Can't say things like what? Hey, take your shoes off. You know? Sign it next time. You know, I don't know. Pause. Can you is it your face? I'm not even gonna say it. I feel like I'm gonna sound dense if I say that. Never mind. Okay. She wasn't a quiet choir either. It's loud and everyone notices the moment it happens. Then everyone needs to comfort her, and then you are the dick for making her cry. There are more examples of this, and the whole family has had to deal with it. The issue was this weekend get-together for my daughter-in-law's daughter's birthday. The birthday was going well, and there were a lot of young kids. So, if it was his other daughter-in-law's daughter's birthday, would that mean it's his grandbaby's birthday? Right? One of the kids, he is 4, almost 5, can be rude. His parents are working on it. He doesn't have a filter. During the event, when he was helping pass out the food, he called her fat. 4-year-old called you fat. Okay. The parents grabbed him and she started crying. It was getting loud, so I pulled her off to the side and told her to stop crying. I didn't want her to cause a scene at a 7-year-old's birthday party. It was a little kid's remark and told her not to come out of the room unless she is composed. She ended up going to the car and didn't come back to the party. My son and I got in an argument. At this point, she is a grown adult and she is crying about a 4-year-old saying something mean. He is telling me to apologize at this point, but I am not. Yep. This post, what, was like 24 days ago? I hope you still have not apologized. If a 4-year-old called me fat, I would die laughing. And probably go work out because kids don't have filters and they don't know what's mean. They're objective. They're like, if you're fat and a kid's calling you fat, you probably just are fucking fat. I'm sorry. Not the asshole at all. Let's read some comments. I disagree a bit with some other response we've received. She was crying at a child's birthday party. She was loudly crying at a child's birthday party. She did not have to be told to remove herself from the room. She should have realized that herself. She should not have wanted to spoil the child's party. It was too bad that you had to tell her to stay out of the room until she composed herself, but I think that was absolutely necessary. Therefore, not the asshole in my humble opinion. Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree. I think a skill, is this a soft skill? Hold on. Um, EQ? Is that a soft skill? um, that I don't know. Emotional intelligence is like very important. I've realized. It's not like anybody else's fault that you're feeling an emotion. Again, I'm all about feeling what you need to feel. This person, I hope she's in therapy. Uh, but you also need to be emotionally intelligent enough to remove yourself from these rooms. Good on dad-in-law for doing that. I think again, I'm pretty sure this is a grandbaby party, so he's trying to protect his grandkids. I think grandparents also have a very maternal instinct to those children, and if anything, they might be, I don't know, more first to make decisions because they've already raised one. Maybe not trying to make the same mistakes. I don't know. I want to find somebody who says that he is the asshole. There's being a crier and being a public crier. I cry all the time. Happy, sad, tired, angry, multiple times a week. Me too. I'll excuse myself if I need to take an urgent phone call, the bathroom, too hot, too cold, need air, etc. A grown adult woman, she might not be very good at regulating her emotions, but needs to be able to deal with them privately. I remember I had a friend and getting engaged. I was so happy I literally could not stop sobbing. She was worried about taking the attention from the happy couple, so I just stepped outside and nobody even noticed. She sounds exhausting and annoying and very immature. Yeah. I don't know. I'm there's like mentions of comments of this person being the asshole, but I cannot find them. So absolutely, with flying colors, you are definitely not the asshole on this one. I'm not sure what's going on in that person's head. I hope she goes to therapy, and I don't know. Somebody in my life told me that I needed to learn emotional intelligence, and I'm not going to be successful if I can't figure that out. Granted, I was like 23 when that was told to me. I'm not sure how old this person is either, but she's got a whole daughter. I don't have any kids. So hopefully, I don't know. This is the moment she can turn this around and figure it out for herself. If you're still here, thank you so much, genuinely. And comment your favorite Pop-Tart flavor. Bye.